What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Whis' Training Ground. I officially put that as the title. You got it.
Nice.
What Whis' Training Ground is a mouthful. Is we sit down as the Omaha Play Group and we talk about some aspects of the game for your amusement, entertainment, and knowledge. So with that said, my name's Tam. I'm here with Cody. How are you, man?
Good.
Good to hear, as well as Xavier. Yeah. How's your week in Dragon Ball Super been?
Go
ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. New cards. A little underwhelmed.
No. Tell me about like your personal week.
Oh, my personal
Your
week?
personal week. What have you been working on? How did you do it at any events you went to? Did you pack any cool cards? You tell me. Do you have any spontaneous ideas?
I played Cell for the first time in my life.
How'd that work?
I topped.
Nice.
Yeah, I crushed everyone.
Good job.
Everyone?
Except
There it is.
we got a little lucky.
A little bit,
A
yeah.
little lucky.
What else?
What colors?
Green, blue.
Green, blue. Seems like the appropriate choice.
Yes. It was very good. I enjoyed it very much so, making every one of my opponents have zero fun.
Well, we might come back to Cell. What did you work on this week?
I worked on a blue-yellow Metro Freezer list. A little bit different than the Wuhan or the Broly list that we've been using. Haven't been able to play test it, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe that's another video.
Okay.
For a later day.
Thinking like this upcoming Friday?
Maybe not this Friday, because we have a big tournament for us this week.
Okay.
On Friday, so maybe in the next week or two.
I'm still just playing shitty Gohan, having fun.
You're gonna drop that?
When?
Yeah.
I might drop it depending on we got that new tournament with the cool mat, the ARG thing.
So if we get the States tournament.
If we get the States tournament, I might actually play something that matters.
You're still gonna play the Gohan deck?
Probably.
all the way?
Probably. But like maybe not. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy that deck, and I think it's just rogue enough to get me to tops. But I don't know if it would. Like I don't think it would win. Yeah. If I had to play something else and I had to play something super competitive, I'd probably just play Cell. I think he just promotes really smart decisions.
Blue, green, red?
I have no idea. I've done zero thought on it. I just think being able to drop a 7 diff on turn 3 is kind of stupid.
With turn 2 potential?
Yeah, with turn 2 potential.
I think both are valid, by the way.
What, green, red, green, blue? I think green, red Cell is worse than green, blue.
Well, they're both valid overall,
I
but
think green, red
I'd rather
androids
have...
is... I think green, red androids is what you'd rather play if you were playing green, red.
With that, to give you guys the breakdown, the goal of this is I'm going to be trying to put out a different video every weekday and then the entire podcast as a one large thing on Friday. At time of recording, it's a Monday night, and I have the video currently being uploaded to YouTube, which after this you can share to Discord and whatnot. So yeah, go out, like the channel, obviously, do all that bullshitty YouTube stuff. With that, let's see the first topic. Who wants to go first?
I have to go first? Oh,
I feel like you should go first because of what your topic entails.
Alright.
Sorry, dude.
My topic is the new cards, the new leaked cards, the Mighty Heroes and...
No, yeah.
Mighty Heroes and...
Demonic demon villains.
Yeah.
Demon villains.
The Heroes and Villains boxes.
Okay. No, at time of recording, these are not out for everybody
No.
to touch. We just have confirmed effects.
Yes.
Confirmed effects.
Okay.
January 26th, I believe is the day.
I mix it up with when Fighter Z comes
Yeah.
out.
26,
26 and 28.
Either one of those.
Somewhere in there.
Cool stuff are happening.
So with that, do we want to do... It's the 26th for sure. Do we want to do... Same day as Bebop. Do we want to do heroes and then villains? Or do we want to do villains and heroes? Which one sucks?
Villains is probably weaker than Heroes.
Let's do villains then. I gotta figure out how to try and get these cards on screen, but yeah, villains. Tell me about it. I don't know what these 7 cards do, even in the slightest. Actually, that's a lie. I don't know what 6 of these cards do. I barely know what one of them do.
Off the top of my head, so there's 7 of them. The one that was shown was the Mighty Mass Super Saiyan. That one was the one that showed the Overrealm mechanic, which I have vastly misread. Like 8 different times. I finally got it down. So the card that they showed was basically like an effective replacement for Kale.
Okay.
But not as good. So what it kind of showed is the overall mechanic, and the overall mechanic is where you banish your whole discard pile, pay the cost if there is one, and then you get to play the card. The cost is reduced significantly. So to play a 5-drop, that's effectively like a Kale in terms of the removal.
Sure.
You can remove everything except blockers, but 5 or less.
Everything that's 5 or less.
I'm sorry,
except blockers.
up to 5.
Okay, I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It's almost good.
Well, it has to say up to, so it can kill tokens.
Sure.
Because if it said 5 or like anything, well, unless if it said like 5 mana or less up to.
It's still Kale's ability. You just
It's
blocker cannot be on the text.
It can kill tokens. That's the best thing to put.
It is colorless,
Yes.
Yes.
which is the important part.
Or black.
Whoa.
So it's a 20k. It's a 20k double striker. But
Sorry.
the overall mechanic makes it so that it just like it's kind of like a surprise effect. So it's just you play it, you do its effect, you attack with it, then it goes to the warp, which is your exile zone.
Sure.
Um,
They already had this mechanic in the game. Before these.
are you gonna mention
Son Gohan!
the word warp was never used?
You're right.
Okay, it actually just says remove from the game.
Yeah.
When you remove your discard pile. Doesn't say send it to warp. Errata incoming.
Errata
Cooler
incoming.
does that too.
Cooler? That's cool.
So the overall mechanic was like a really interesting one that they showed, and the cards that they previewed with it all kind of work in a sense with the overall mechanic. But the biggest one that came out was the 3 mana Trunks.
Time Patrol Trunks?
Yes. So
And this is a villain? He's
yes.
a villain?
He's Trunks from a different universe.
And he's a bad guy.
I guess. I don't know where he comes from.
Time Patrol Trunks.
He's like Trunks Xeno or something like that.
I believe he's part of that game.
Oh, the
Universe.
yeah.
So I don't know if he's
That's-
technically bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they're like jumping all over the place, like timeline wise.
Yeah, the card game's supposed to introduce every character from every saga.
We'll probably get everything. Probably not GG. I feel like we won't get that.
Maybe.
The whole non-canon.
They're eventually going to run out of cards, and they're eventually going to just be like, yeah, we're making a GT set.
I'd be okay with that personally.
So the Trunks is really good because first off, it's just like a 15k beater, and it just has a really good auto effect that when it comes into play, you get to look at the top 2 cards, put one in your hand, and then one on the bottom or the top of your deck.
Wow.
Which is extremely good when you're playing decks like Cell, Buhan, stuff like that. Because when you look at the top 2, if one of them is like your Cell that you want to grab out of your deck, or one of the Buhans, or one of the big Majin Boos that you never want to see outside of your deck,
It's on the bottom.
slide that one on the bottom, and then you always know that you have one sitting there. So
He's a 0-5 combo too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think everything except Vegito from Heroes and the Mighty Mask Super Saiyan is all 0-5Ks.
Yeah.
Because even the
It appears so.
psyched up Gotenks in the hero box is also a 5K.
He's psyched up.
6 drops 0-5K.
Yep.
Just a card. Now the one thing about the overall mechanic is that it affects, I think, more decks than it doesn't. Vegito here to save the day does not really go well when you're banishing your whole graveyard.
Totally.
Things like Vegito, the leader itself, is you kind of want them in your graveyard.
Yeah,
Because when
eventually.
you flip over, if you have 10, so if your deck's kind of specifically made for that, it's a little bit cooler. What was another? Psyched Up Gotenks from...
Does not work.
Does not work very well, unless if you're doing its like initial cast effect, the fusion, the Union fusion.
Is that the hero guy?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to him.
We're
We're still on villains. Stay on topic.
Sorry, I'm just naming off cards. That's just kind of a nombo with it.
So I'm gonna cut you off just because Xavier is also our leading expert. How do you feel about all these cards, the villain ones? Extreme Kai of Time, Continuity, continue, Keeper, Continuity, Continue Cutie. Good night, everybody. How do you feel about like all these cards?
Pretty disappointed, honestly. I think the Trunks that Cody was talking about is tied with a card from the Hero Box as probably one of the best out of both. I think the twins that are at the bottom, these two.
Majin Twin, Shun Shun, and Haru.
Yeah.
Great naming.
Yeah. I don't hate those two cards.
Red or blue. Every deck that drops on. Okay.
Overall, it's a very intro to the mechanic.
Very intro.
Nothing's super crazy. I've seen a lot of people, or heard a lot of people talk about the Trunks. It's amazing, auto-include and everything kind of talk, which I think the card is just a little bit above average. And then Cody talked about it a little bit. It's also just not an auto-include in Vegito, really discard pile heavy decks.
I'm excited for these cards, mainly because they don't look, from my first glance, and not me not playing this game a whole bunch, they don't look game-breaking. They don't look like, oh man, the format is completely and totally warped because of these 14 cards that are entering. Or at least the 7 that I've looked at so far, right now. They don't look like, oh man, Mega Frieza. looks like we have a terror truly to deal with. Of this mask guy is gonna cheekily win some games, or this Trunks is gonna cheekily help this deck out. But it's not like, well, I have to play 4 of this or I'm gonna lose. Like that's not how I feel looking at the set.
The funny thing about cards coming out is when those heroes were coming out, Mecha Frieza and all that kind of stuff, some people kind of like glanced over Mecha Frieza. It was saying like Majin Vegeta was going to be really good.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, he says activate main. That's, if he didn't say activate main, I think it'd be like really good.
What do you think if it said activate battle, discard a card and do the thing?
Yeah. So like,
but people even like saw that and still thought that card was just like, oh, it's so much better. And I'm just like, no, you have to discard a card. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's strictly worse than Blue Vegeta, in my opinion. But then, you know, I read Mecha Frieza and I was just like, oh. This is like 2 weeks before I think they came out when I like looked through them and I was just like, that seems interesting. And then it was just like, oh yeah, that's broken.
Yeah.
Because I know I wasn't fully on board, but that was before the whole doesn't matter colors and you could just play everything for free. I think it was maybe a week, because we definitely play tested most of those cards. But a week in, when we were starting to get an idea of how rulings were going to be, and you didn't have to have that color in your mana at all, you didn't have to be able to cast it or anything like that, and it was just free, that's the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easily.
Totally.
But hopefully none of those kind of cards kind of totally shift the format. Trunks is the only one, and Trunks is a support card at best.
Yeah.
It's nothing game-breaking, but it's just like, you got to be really careful with the support cards, because sometimes they get a little out of hand. You know, like, you can learn that from a lot of different card games, where it's games that don't have a super powerful effect right off the bat, like nothing that's like game-ending or game-winning.
Yeah, it's not the ultra attack.
But it just has like this, you know,
They just had a big ban in Magic that does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, there weren't any game-ending bans. It was all prep cards.
Yeah, it was a lot of just like sustain that hurts the deck if they don't have them. But there's no like game-changing things like the 0-10K combos and stuff like that. Nothing super game-changing, but like things that are going to help dig through decks a little faster to get you to more important cards. So the thing that you might see is more consistency with decks that are playing less copies of a certain card. So decks that are playing, like 2 Kales and 3 Gohan, like 3 of the promo Gohans are like seeing more of their Gohans more consistently because they're playing more like filter cards. Which is something that, you got to be a little worried about is when you give people options to just kind of dig through to make something, like to find something. It's just a lot better. Because Boo, the reason why Boo is a little bit balanced is, you have to pay 1 for it all the time. The Trunks, on the other hand, you play it, you get to look at the top 2, and then you get to choose one of those and choose your next draw phase, basically.
Yeah. You think it's good for the game? The Villan pack?
Yeah. Nothing game breaking.
That we can see initially.
It's a nice.
There might be something like a leader that we like fucking chilled might like come out and beat ass with these cards or something. I don't know.
Dude, Chilled's always been good.
That would be cool.
Really? No. It's like I've never seen it even at locals.
You're talking about the one that like makes a token, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can play 4 Kales in that deck. Attack, make a token, play Kale.
It has some cool token potential. I like the 5-drop. You get rid of a token, becomes a triple breaker.
Did you guys see Big Johnson's deck? You played against it, yeah? His little Gotenks deck?
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool deck? That's the deck I tried to get Mark to make.
Yeah, but I ran through it.
Well, I mean, he also, like, very limited supply of cards and isn't super knowledgeable in the game.
Yeah.
But I think, like, his first try, I think...
UFS?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was trying to leap from his field and do the 3-mana leap effect where you discard that and another card from your hand to search for Gotenks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that activates in your hand. So you just you just discard 2 and get a Gotenks.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, you know how to do